Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So glad you could join me today. This is the Collage of Kittens and it is part 15. We are darn near done with this. We are going to be working on this particular section today. And going to dial this in. Maybe just back it off a hair. There we are. We're going to do our typical start with the capital B and all the way upper hand, right hand corner. As always, if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe. It is absolutely free. Hit the thumbs up to notify YouTube that it is worth sharing. Please leave a comment, suggestions, ideals, how you feel, anything. I hope everyone is doing well today, or as well as can be expected. You can also mention how you've been feeling. I myself, I'm still recovering from my surgery. It's slow. When I overly do it, I end up sore again because I keep wanting to get more and more done. And then I have to take a day or two of rest to cut the soreness down. Not used to being so sedative on getting things done. All right, a few more over here. Okay, I believe that's it of the letter. Nope, there's another capital B. I just saw it right here. Just trying to scan and see if we can get them all. That appears to be it. The next is capital R. Okay. We have a scattering of ones with singles and with groupings. We're going to start working with some groupings here. Whoops. still have some groupings going for them right yet. Okay. So when I was doing my curtains, I was going up and down the ladder a lot, carefully, but still doing it a lot. And I believe that I overstrained the muscles, and my leg and hip area was really objecting to it. So yesterday I ended up spending a lot more time recovering from it because my leg and hip area kept hurting pretty bad. And so now I still have to do work on it, but I'm trying not to overstrain myself again. I see another one right here. And I believe that's it that I've managed to find. So we're going to work with lowercase b next. Okay, I see a smattering of them here and there. We're going to work on some of the singular ones right now. I hope I did say that this was part 15 of the Collage of Kittens. Quite a few of these. Most of them are singulars, though. Now I'm getting into areas where there's more than that, but I still see some singulars, so just trying to get them filled in. All right, so let's go ahead and do some of the groupings now. Whoops. There's 3. Most of them are groupings of 2, so as soon as I can find them now. I see another singular in there as well, several of them. But we'll fill these ones in because they're quite distracting. So up in here is one. Okay, I see several over here. Right there. see another one as well. Okay. And I'm going to say that that's all no, I see one more. Awesome. Would have missed that. There. I believe that's it. I don't see any more. Now we're going to do the plus sign. Don't know how many of them there are. I see a couple right there. Let's go ahead and fill that in. And I see one right there. And that appears to be it. Nope, I see one more. Awesome. Right here. Okay. All right, that appears to be it. Okay, rectangular with the line through it. And we have quite a few of these. I need to shake out some lines and start filling these in. We have quite a few singular ones, and we also have ones that are groupings. I missed plus signs. I see them now. We can always go back to that tray next. Right now we're going to concentrate on the rectangle with a line through it, because the more there is of one, the more fill-in we get, and the more distracting it is as well. Something I talked a lot about is that our eyes we only communicate so much information at a time. And when there's an overwhelming amount of information, our brain will disregard a certain amount. So that's why when you're looking at this, why you will miss even the ones that you're trying to work on, because there's only so much that the brain processes at a time. So as you get them done and they're color filled, the brain starts seeing more and more of what you've missed. I watched a really cool scientific show one time where they showed examples of that, where in the background they actually had people dressed up as bunnies hopping along and etc. so on. But because your eyes are focused on the speaker, then you actually miss what was going on in the background. Because again, the brain can only focus, and the eyes can, on certain amount at a time. So we miss a lot of information. So under that idealism, I had a Catholic friend, because I do tarot cards, okay? Tarot cards is not of any religion. And for the longest time, I actually had to explain that scientific thing, that because our attentions are focused and we only see and process what we're focused on, that there's many things that we know but we don't know, because even though the brain heard it, it goes to the subconscious brain rather than the conscience. And that what tarot cards do is bring out what you didn't focus on. And I made a believer out of her, that it was not satanic work. It is just that the mind can only focus on a certain amount of information, and that's our conscious mind. But our subconscious may have overheard a conversation that didn't even register, or information, and that when you use the tarot cards, that's how that information comes about. And I actually made a believer out of her, especially when she had some things going on in her life, and she was very upset about it. And the cards, when I would do a reading for her, kept telling her that this was going to work out, that this was going to be corrected. And it did end up being corrected. So, without her doing a thing, it ended up being corrected. Which is nice, because some people don't like to have to do confrontations and fighting with others. And not that to say that she wouldn't fight for herself, but she didn't want to jeopardize her position by fighting with them. And it did get corrected. So, and doing this type of, or any type of craft, shows you how the brain can only focus on a slice at a time, and that you can miss things. And it isn't until you come across it and you're like, oh, okay, I missed that, and yeah, I gotta do that too. So, and in fact, that's one of the problems I have with recording, because I use my phone, and I can't afford any expensive camera or things that podcast users use and whatnot. And if I don't remember to make sure my phone gets on landscaping rather than portrait position, that's what limits that viewing screen. And I have to consciously remember to check it and make sure that it is on the proper one. So, okay, we're on letter S, and we've been filling in the singular ones, and I'm going to start working on grouping now, to get that filled up. All right. And then I can go back and see if I've missed any of the singular ones, which I'm sure I already seen two that I have not gotten. So yeah, the brain is an amazing thing. So we go through life knowing things, but not knowing things, because we sift through so many visual perceptions and informations every day that we have to throw it out at some time or another because of how overwhelming it can be too. All right, I'm going to glance over this again, see if I come across any more S's. No, it looks like that's pretty much it. Now we'll do the 3 triangular. And as I always say, the nice thing about this is you can go back and just plug them in if you've missed any. So not the most horrible thing in the world to happen. I'm just doing some odd ones here and there first. And then I'm going to fill in those groupings up here. And then there's going to be a couple, 3 singulars. Oh, I even see a couple more over here that I didn't see previously. Okay, I do believe that's it. And then we have W. Okay. All right. Okay. I will say, after playing with tarot cards for a good, over 25 years now, it is not an exact science. It is a very mixed answer, mixed results, and definitely I wouldn't say that you should stake everything on tarot readings. And definitely if you have someone else read them for you, you should take definite care on the information that's received. And many of the tarots, some are spiritual based, some are religion based, some are just out there in the universe based. And it's definitely a really neat hobby to get into. My own cards, I have like a favorite set, and I stick with them. I've only really used 2 sets of tarots in most of my life. Other ones I just dislike how they read. I don't like positive and negative where they do upside down reading. I find it very overwhelming and confusing. So I've always stuck more to because the cards have negative cards and positive cards. Why in the world does one need to do the cards and shuffle them right side up and upside down when they already have negative and positive aspects, as well as what cards are going together? So that's never made any sense to me, and I've never been able to get into the card readings where and most traditional cards do have you do that. And don't be afraid to buy a book that doesn't originally belong with your cards. I've owned probably over 20 books, and there's only one I ever continuously use. And again, that doesn't do upside down, or it doesn't do the mixed shuffle readings. It only does right side up readings. Okay, we're going to do the U-turn. And the funny thing is, even cards will tell you, stop asking it the same question over and over. A lot of people believe that the cards are manipulable, like you can manipulate them. Not really. The cards will have a fit if you keep asking the same question over and over, expecting a different result. This drill broke. I have to remove it. My first broken drill. It broke after I placed it in. Okay, we're taking that out. Okay, let's try this again. So that's an interesting aspect of the cards, is that they're really not. Now, they can be misread. They are quite complex. They don't always give the clarity that people hope for. They don't really answer yes and no questions. And so a lot of people don't understand them. And again, I'm all for buying a set that resonates with you. And if right side up and upside down reading bothers you, there is a person who did a tarot book who tells you that you don't need to do it that way, and gives you different variety of shuffling and reading spreads for you. Okay, now we're going to do the check mark. We do have a few groupings of this. So I have probably bought a good 20 deck of cards during the past 30 years. And most of them I got rid of. They don't feel right in my hands. They're too large, or I don't like the depictions on them, and there's so many reasons as to why you might buy a deck and then discover that you don't like it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to keep it. You can give them away, you can resell them, do whatever you like, even throw them away. The cards are not linked to anybody or anything. They kind of remind me of a tuning fork, the old-fashioned way of finding water. They tune in to whoever shuffled them. Now, I allow people that I'm doing readings for to shuffle my cards. And then I do the spread. The Celtic Cross is one of my favorite spreads. Quite simplified. I don't do the extra 4 cards because if something is at random, sometimes adding in more information that's random can cause the reader to misread the situation. That's why I don't normally do the 4 cards. And so, to me, tarot cards have nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with entities of any sort. It is just the subconsciousness of information within a person that comes out. And in a way, it's also electrical kinetic energy. Electrical is the whole world runs on electric. Kinetic means everyone's connected in some way, shape, or form. And the energy is always free to dispense. Kind of reminds you of a natural disaster. That's energy that is suddenly subcontained to one area or one thing. And again, it's also the person who is shuffling the cards as they see the energy, perceive the energy, and dispense the energy. A kind of strange explanation, but I believe it's pretty accurate. Now, I'm not saying I believe in conspiracy theories or anything like that. It has nothing to do with things like that. I also have a set of rune stones. Now, these stones I had bought, and I do read them at times, but they don't, okay, lowercase e, they don't read the same as tarots. to me, they're similar to tarot cards, but more restrictive, which is why I don't read them a lot. And they usually concentrate on the puller, the person who pulls the stones and set them up. Now, again, they have that negative aspect. They can be read upside down or right side up, which, again, I'm not a fan of that. But with the tarots, I've noticed that they don't have a lot of negative runes. So, because they're not so negative, it makes sense that they actually made them right side up and upside down readings. And they just call it reversed reading. And sometimes I'll do them, but not as often. Again, my favorite is the tarot. D, okay. We do have a few of the larger ones of the D, so goodness. Huh. So as anyone may have guessed, I am not religious. I have never been baptized. I have never been Christian. I have never been saved. I don't believe in it. I refuse to do it. It is not part of my, it is not part of my life. How other people choose to express their religious beliefs, that's up to them. My personal views on it are not nice, you could say. And it's not because I haven't had exposure. I have had lots of exposure. In fact, I've had so much exposure that is why I am not religious. And in so many types of religion. So, and that again is my choice. I do not push it down other people's throats. I raised my children with the lack of religion. I would not allow them to go to church of any sorts. I did not encourage. I wanted my children to become adults without any religious influence, and then allow them to make the choice when they became an adult as a critical thinking choice. Every one of my children are non-religious. None of them believe in it, which is absolutely fine with me. That was their choice. They checked into it after they became adults, and they really do not practice religion of any sort. Because if you are not indoctrinated into religion and you get to think about it and read about it and experience life without it, many of them choose to not be religious. And that was what I wanted for my kids. I did not want them indoctrinated into it. I had exposure to religion when I was young, in a complete other negative effect, as in it being crammed down my throat, being used as a threatening mechanism, as a punishment, as a cruelty, and many other things. I've seen how it allows other people to use it as a way of controlling and torturing women and children, and I dislike it immensely, which is why I'm not religious. Thank goodness my own mother and father did not practice religion. And so when I got exposure, it was not from them. It was from others. All right. That does number 4. And we got more pluses, so I am going to go ahead and pull that now and get the ones that I had missed out of the way. So, and I've seen the ones where they indoctrinate by giving them candy and things like that. And so, as you can imagine, we got a capital E now. And so is how I came about my views and values of religion. Okay, we're doing capital E now. And I remember asking my mother, I was not even a teenager yet, if I didn't get baptized, does that make me a bad person? You know? And my mother told me no, it was a personal choice. And because I was just avidly against it, I did not like white man's religion. I did not want to be a part of that religion. And I wasn't going to be bullied or to be made less than. And so I think most people become religious because they're afraid of what happens to their soul in the afterworld. Like, is there an afterworld? And if there is, what happens? And I believe that souls are spiritual, that they can be reborn, they can stay there, that they're like kinetic energy. And I know when I go near a reservation, Indian reservation, we have them around here. When I get near a reservation, when I'm driving, I get this strange humming, and it's so hard to describe. Like I will feel like electrical energy running through me. It's just so strange. And they're the only place I've ever felt it. And I'm not quite sure why. But I'm fine with that. Okay, capital E. That looks like all of them. And then we have a number 2. Number 2. And I think I did mention that I have red and brown in me. It's European brown, but it's still brown. And red from 2 different tribes. In fact, most of my blood family are very non-religious. Most of us never get involved with it or practice it. And their children do not. Yeah, red-skinned savages. It's another word for it. Okay, gonna be doing groupings here in a few. We're getting down there on the singular ones. I'll be darned, there's another plus sign that I missed. So, number 2. Okay. Here's a couple. In fact, many of my family / ancestors before me also did not practice any Christianity religion. I did miss S. It's right there. Right now, I'm still working on number 2. So, quite a bit of these. Okay. my grandparents, at least not on my mother's side. My father, crazy Baptist, man. Crazy. Crazy, weird people. Even though my father also had some Native American in him, the rest of it was more of the I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Had more of the white man influences in it. My mother had more of the European that are not into the Christianity. Okay, now we have M. And we have some really big areas. So, going to get some lines ready here. Fill it right up. Do the letter M. Whoops. The only bad thing about these big groupings I notice is that it'll overcrowd itself and then not spread out properly on in the row, which can be quite annoying. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to use the shorter one to do some of these. Perfect. And we got 5. All right, perfect again. So, unfortunately, due to so many restrictions with the tribes, I don't hold enough of the Native American percentage of bloodline in which to claim my heritage. But like I said, at one time I was a smoker, smoked cigarettes, and I would go to the Native America reservation to buy cigarettes. First and only time I ever even came close. And like I said, when I did, it was strange for me. It's almost like being called home. Like I could hear and feel my ancestors. Their spiritual influences toned down on most land because of the white man being on it and moving all the bodies and everything, so I know that. So yes, I do tarots. Okay, so we did the double diamond. And now we're at the letter Q. That is quite all over. So this should be interesting. We're getting near the end of this one. You might notice that there was a piece that was interrupted, but these extra long videos, things happen like phone calls or call of nature and other things, so please forgive me for having to stop the video and restarting them, but whatever works. Okay. And we got a couple of groupings. All right, great. So that does Q. Let's go ahead and grab the S that we missed. Put that in. And the next would be number 6. All right. All right. Number 6 is done. Now we have the letter T. Can't remember if I already did T. It's hard telling. After a while, everything kind of like, you know, blends together. I do them over and over again in so many videos that I can't remember. I assume I didn't do it because there are many, many of them that haven't been done. Is that proper? Appears to be. All right, and then we have the letter V. We have 2 right here, and we have 1 right here, and then we have the number 9. We also have a few of the green ones, so we're going to be skipping around here. So first we're going to do the add sign, the old-fashioned plus sign. Looks like there's another kitten down in here, but only its eyes are showing. Oh, I see, because part of it's already cut off. I believe that is the number 8. So, number 8. And I only think that there's one of them because it's part of the eye. All right. And then I have 2 ends, which are a tan. Okay. I have a couple of number 9s, you know, and again, subscribe is free, helps my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate the fact that you took the time out to watch my videos. And until next time, I hope you take care.